Don't be embarrassed where you come from.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I sometimes I'll hear my Midwestern accent come out and I'm just like, oh God, stop. I actually had to break myself of a habit because I'm from Cincinnati and they have a couple of very specific things that are very just specific to that city. And one of them is if somebody says, excuse me, we don't say that. We go, please. I had to
Oh, okay. I
it's
like that.
it comes
Please.
from something in German, and I don't know what that is because it's a German city. The other thing is I had to learn to stop saying "warsh" because my mom grew up in northern Kentucky, and I finally had to break myself of saying that. There's a couple of other things that I've had to stop myself.
It is. Well, I like please better than the Texan. Do what?
Oh my God, yeah, yeah,
So
exactly. So, are you from Texas or where are you from?
I was an Air Force brat, so I traveled all over,
Uh-huh.
and I found home, which is Austin, in the early '90s. So I've been here in Austin since then. So I'm going to say
Before it was
yes.
cool.
I'm a say again.
Before it was cool.
Yes. Oh man, Austin was so different then, and I love it when when you connect with a true Austinite that remembers when highways were four-way stops. They remember these little eateries. There were these breweries, and it was just a different time.
No, I get it.
And
I get
I
it.
still love Austin. I wouldn't live anywhere else in Texas, but in the Austin and greater Austin area for sure.
Mhm.
And so I've been here for many years, 30 plus years. I'd say Austin is home. I love it. I love
No,
being
it's a
from
cool
Austin. I
place.
really do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand. I mean, I used to live in South Florida, and so
Oh,
yeah, so yeah, I know I'm kind of a nomad, not quite like you, I don't think, but yeah, so I lived in Fort Lauderdale for a long time, but I also worked in Miami, and I remember Miami before Miami Beach became, Miami Beach, and
yeah.
all that, and yeah, I can remember just going down there and on Ocean Drive and just, going
Uh-huh.
and hanging out and, at this place called the News Cafe, which is probably like an it place by now. I mean, I don't know. It probably maybe has been passe, but 20
Yeah.
years ago it was still really hip, but it wasn't
It
very
was
hip
the
when I first went.
right? It was the place to be seen and the place to go to for sure. And there
Well, and
used
it
to
was
be
like on the
places like that.
corner, yeah. And so it was just this, kitschy little place, but yeah, kind of like Austin, and whatnot. But anyway, oh my God. Anyway, woo wee there. Oh, I just heard it. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, at least
Oh,
now
Lordy.
how do you say cocktail? That's how you can always tell a true Midwesterner or more because when I hear the
Cocktail.
cocktail, I'm like,
No,
oh,
no, I
Chicago.
do cocktail. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But like I say, sometimes I will catch myself, like when I'm teaching or talking to someone and I'm like, oh crap, that really just slipped out, didn't it? And it's like your Midwestern is showing, because like I'm not fluent at all in Spanish or anything like that, but I can at least, travel and sometimes hold conversations with people and you know do things like that. But it's it's
You
just
can you can fumble through it and not insult anyone, right?
hopefully not. Yeah,
No,
hopefully not.
hopefully not. Well, no one's raised their hand yet and said, "Hey, I don't like."
Children, yeah, children. Although if I talk to children in Spanish, they think I'm insane. They're like, "Who is this idiot?" Because like adults understand because they can't speak English that well, so like we try to meet each other and in the middle. But it's pretty funny. So like I can just remember being in Spain in 1992, and I don't know, I can't even remember what in the world I said, but it was like my Spanish was crap at that time.
Yeah.
Um, and I just remember saying something, and these kids all started giggling and laughing at me. And I was just like, okay, fine, that's great.
We'll
But
allow it. We'll
yeah.
allow it.
So anyway, Cyrus, my goodness. Okay, I have to admit, you are the first woman I've ever met who's named Cyrus. Where does that
Uh,
come from?
probably will be. You may meet some other Cyruses that are dogs. That's a common dog name, typically pit bulls or big beefy dogs.
Ooh, okay.
My
Well, that's not you,
parents
but
were hippies in San Jose, and I was conceived on a cul-de-sac called Cyrus Avenue. No lie. And they said boy or girl, it was going to be Cyrus, and that is the genesis of my name. That's it.
I get
It's
it.
a
No,
biblical name. It is a Persian name.
it's a great name.
And
Yeah,
thank you. It was horrible as a kid because
I'm
Cyrus the
sure.
virus, Cyrus Siren, and it wasn't fun. But I do enjoy it as an adult because you won't meet any others. I will tell you, Donna, it did suck in high school though, because that's right when Billy Ray Cyrus's Achy Breaky Heart came out. So everybody, because kids are stupid, oh, you must be related to Billy Ray. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, that's my
And
first name.
now, yeah, I know. Now everyone thinks they're so clever and it's a renewed joke to call me Miley. I'm like, yeah, that's not that funny.
Or Noah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it
Jeez.
doesn't work for me. But yeah, I've not met any other female Cyruses. I do know some people that have said they will name their daughter a Cyrus when it happens, but
Well, good.
people
You're
just like to say things.
trailblazer then. Yeah. Well, that's super cool. Yeah, no, because I remember when I first got that message, I was like, is this a guy? You know, and
Oh,
then I went to, and
yeah.
then I went to your profile. I'm like, wait, that's a woman. Okay.
It happens all the time. I like the element of surprise. So in
Sure.
business, they're seeing Cyrus, 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 and then surprise. So I like that too. It works to my advantage.
Oh no. Well, and I'm named after my dad because I was the firstborn daughter of a man named Don. So,
Oh, they feminized
like
it with
it's
the
a very
Donna.
1960s name. Yeah. You don't really hear a lot of Donnas anymore. Yeah. My
It
sister got a better
works.
name. She got Laura. So, which she was named after my aunt, but
Okay.
Laura's but more, I don't know. But anyway, what can I say? I'm Donna Marie, so.
Take it. My parents tried to make mine a bit more feminine by adding Anne. So my middle
Oh,
name is Anne, and they tried it a little bit when I was a kid to say Cyrus Ann, but that doesn't work for me. So it's just too much. I just got it. You're gonna have a strong name. You just got to own it. That's what I tell people with unusual names. Just own it. Don't apologize for it. Don't tell people when people ask. I always share this with, especially women. Share
yeah.
all the time. And so, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Donna or is it Donna, for example?
Right,
And
right.
I'll answer to whatever. No, you don't. You don't answer to whatever. Make people learn your name.
Oh
It's not
yeah.
hard.
No, I
I
hear it.
remind folks of that all the time. Like, no. You own your name. They can learn your name. You're worthy and valuable enough to people learn your dang name.
Absolutely, absolutely. So is Walker your married name or your maiden name?
It is my married name.
Okay.
It's a little bit bazonkers. I got my first marriage, I got married very young. I was goodness, 18, 19. And so Walker's been my name for my whole adult life, and my
Yeah.
kid's name is Walker. And unfortunately, their dad and I separated, and I like to say I kept the name. He got the dog and some other things. I'm like, I'm gonna keep the name. So and
Yeah.
I have remarried and I've not taken that name. I'm Cyrus Walker and it feels more comfortable and I can align more with my kids.
That's okay. That's okay. And so
It
you have one
works.
child, you have one child?
Two. I got two
Two.
boys, a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old. So yeah.
How old are you?
Girl, I'm about to turn 46 in a couple of
Oh my
weeks.
God,
I
you're
like
such
to say I'm a young 46, but some
you
days it doesn't
are.
feel so much.
You look like Tony Collette. That's the funny thing. It was like as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh my God, she looks like Tony Collette,
I need to Google that. I don't know who that is.
She's
I have to write
a
that down.
Australian actress. Yeah, you'll get it. Yeah, because
Awesome.
she's
I'm
quite
writing it
good.
down, so I'll go look at it, Donna.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, well, you're 46 is not old. So yeah, you're doing
No,
fine. Yeah. So
I guess you could say I'm just finding the things in life I really love to do. So
mhm.
I do struggle with a little regret of, oh, you wasted too much time. But I'd say, you know what, forward looking, I've got another 30 years or so before I start deteriorating. So I'm going to make the most of it.
Yeah, the way I look at it, probably another 10 or 15. So yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah. So
That's
it's
exactly right. Count the years that you have and enjoy the heck out of them.
exactly. So you've had a very interesting journey into the running culture. So and I know you would message me about this, but
Yeah.
obviously I'm not gonna I would rather hear you tell that story
Oh,
to
for
me.
sure. For sure. I would say, Donna, my whole life I lived a sedentary lifestyle. I was never an athlete. I played like basketball or volleyball as a kid with your church group, so it wasn't a team or anything. And I started working full time when I was only 18, and my
Wow.
only focus was, and I was with that company for almost 24 years. My only focus was work, 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 work. I
Yeah.
never really explored anything
That was like
myself.
the 90s, right?
Yeah, that was the world. That was the world. That's what we were
I
told
remember
to
that.
do.
Yes. Yes.
Yep, is what we were
I was part
told
of
to
that.
do. And I never explored really anything. I just stayed in this box. And I treated mental health and other issues with, give me pills. I don't want to put in the work. I don't want to work on myself. I'm like, just give me the medicine and make it go away. It doesn't work that way ever.
I
And
wish.
I took a couple of years off during the pandemic. So timing was great for me. And how I found trail running, because I didn't even know it was a thing. Like I'd never been exposed to it because my friend group wasn't a big group of athletes.
Sure.
And so I just wasn't exposed to it. And it was in May of 2020, and we were in Moab. We have an RV. So during the lockdown, we were able to travel all over the US and still isolate. I'm doing air quotes of isolate.
Yeah.
And got to go to a lot of places you typically didn't get to go because the wait list. And we were in Moab and Pritchett Canyon, and it was a very challenging day. My husband and I also rock crawl. We both have Jeeps, and we're those goofballs that like to climb rocks and silly stuff. So I've been out in nature a lot, but I
So
was
you
always
like do the rock
sitting.
climbing thing?
Yeah, no, not
Holy
with my
crap.
hands, with the Jeep. The Jeep will
Oh,
crawl rocks and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
That's
But
good though. That's still good.
yeah, no, not me. But I was just getting tired of being in these beautiful places in a seat. I wanted to get out there, and that day was rough. We had been on the trail maybe 16 hours.
Mhm.
We were probably on our fifth or sixth winching, and I was just so frustrated. And I just remember looking up, and then down the trail, I see these two dudes running, and they've got these little packs on their back. And they are running like deer. They're bouncing around. They're smiling. But this was the end of the run. And they were smiling. And I turned to my friend and I said, what the hell are they doing? What's that? And she just said these words. She says, they're called trail runners. It changed my life. And
Uh-huh.
I got home after that trip, and I said, I want to feel like that. And I want to, another thing that had happened too is, on that trip, my dear friend, she's an avid hiker.
Mhm.
And I remember us staring out at this vista, and you could see for hundreds of miles. And I just said, wow, how lucky are we? And she says, well, you got to earn it. And she's right. In order to
Mhm.
see those views and those amazing moments with nature, you got to earn it. You got to put the footwork in to get out there and get to it. And I really took that philosophy a little bit further than probably some people will, but that's just my style. But I said, I want to earn a lot of things because it'll help me feel more grateful, and it'll motivate me to work harder. And got home, and I just made a goal I downloaded the All Trails app. I didn't know what
Oh,
it
yeah.
was before I left. And I said, okay, 30 days, I want to put my feet on dirt 10 times. Just go
Ooh.
explore a trail. I
Mhm.
didn't make that goal the first
And you
year.
were back in Austin at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I live North Austin, so in the Cedar Park area.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no idea all these trails that were available
Oh
to
my God,
me.
it's amazing. Yeah.
And I never liked the gym. I was self-conscious. You're a heavy person. You don't want everyone seeing you bouncing around on the treadmill. And not that the whole world is watching you, but that's all I would think about, is they're making fun of me, or like, look at that fatty Magoo. What is she doing here? Or it's these silly narratives you play in your brain that don't make any sense at all,
Mhm.
but you do. So I avoided the gym. I paid for the gym membership for years and years.
Oh,
But I
they
never
love
went.
that. They love when people do that. Yeah.
I'm one of those. And I remember being on a trail out in Georgetown, and I thought, I wonder if I could try to run. No one will see me jiggling. I got to do this. And I slowly just started running. Okay, I'm going to run to that tree. And first time I did 3 miles, I thought I'd climb Mount Everest. And then I just started going and going, and did my first trail run at the encouragement of a dear friend of mine with Tejas Trails. It was
Who's
the
that?
Texas Running Festival
Oh,
down
yeah.
in, oh my goodness, it's down South Austin.
Oh, yeah. Krause Springs.
Yes, amazing. I only did a
I love that
5K.
place.
Just
Who
about
is your friend?
Her name is Candace. She is a road runner, is what she is. She
Okay.
does more
Okay.
road
Yeah.
running. She does do trail races now also.
Mhm.
She's not fully immersed, with Tejas Trails. Like, I drank the Kool-Aid. That's the
She
only
hasn't.
company I'll use. I love the people. I love PJ and Chris. I love them all. And I like the community. I love to volunteer with them because I can steal that great energy from the other ultra
Oh,
runners. I
yes.
can't do an ultra, but I'm going to steal your energy and take it for myself and do it with it what I want. but I did my first trail run and just about killed me. That 5K just about killed me.
Well, that course is not easy either. So yeah, no,
No,
I've done 10Ks there, and wow, whoo,
it's rough. It's rough, but
it
I
is.
caught the bug. I caught it and I couldn't stop. And since then I've lost close to 100 pounds, and it's all through diet and exercise. Yeah.
Wow. What kind of diet do you adhere? Do you adhere to something, or is it just clean eating, or
Oh
balance?
God, no. It's called I Run to Eat. I like comfort food. I love a good beer or two or three. I love Tex-Mex is my go-to. I love ice cream. It's all about portion control. It goes back to I have to earn it. So if I'm going to have a burger or a beer, that needs to be after I've done a run or I've done
Mm,
some physical activity to earn that delicious meal.
right.
If I didn't earn it, I didn't have it. So I'd switch
Yeah.
to something less calories. So that's my diet. I don't really follow clean. I don't do well with boundaries. So if I have a rule of what I can and can't eat, I don't do well.
I
This
don't
has worked
understand
well for
keto.
me.
Yeah.
Do you do keto?
No, I said I don't
Oh,
understand it.
it's just something for someone to talk about if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Ugh.
miss, ask me what I do,
I
what
know
I
I'll
eat.
probably get some haters on this one, but
No, they can direct it at me too. Ketos work great, and diet plans have worked really well for some people. For somebody like myself, it doesn't. I needed the freedom and flexibility to do what I want and manage it. And it goes back to I got to earn it. It makes my food taste so much more delicious. Pizza, I can eat a whole large pizza to myself. I love pizza, but I don't get it unless I've done physical activity first.
funny you
That's
mentioned
how I
that.
manage it.
Tonight I just got back from HEB.
Ooh,
I saw this recipe on this I follow a lot of recipe things on Instagram, and there's this thing
yeah.
called Hungry Happens. Really good recipes, by the way. But
Mhm.
she makes these. She made these. She took a cauliflower and cut it into these big, thick slices, and then slathered it with olive oil and spices, and then lets it bake for till it's tender, and then she puts marinara sauce on it. If you want pepperoni or oh damn it, I forgot about olives. Anyway, and mozzarella cheese.
Oh yeah.
And then you bake it, and then it looks really good. So
That sounds delicious. See,
I know
I love playing with recipes also
I do
and
too.
finding solutions that aren't as high in
But
calories
I
as
mean,
that, but
I'm not
still
like
on the mozzarella girl.
oh yeah, no. I
Enjoy
mean,
it.
I've tried paleo, I've tried vegetarian, and it lasted for about 6 months, and then I'm just like, damn it, I can't. Because like on paleo, I got my thyroid taken out in 2015. And
Oh,
they said that doing paleo was a good diet for that, and so I thought, all right. And I was really religious about it, and then it was just kind of like I was cooking all the time, and I was just
uh-huh.
thinking, okay, I just want to come home and rip open a bag of chips and salsa and shove it in my face. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean
Something
to go on.
easier. No, I'm the same. And that's something I do better at too, Donna, is I have a lot of quick and easy things I can grab
Yes.
because if I have to cook, I will just skip it and then order in or whatever. It's
Right.
too easy to find solutions. So having some quick things you can grab that don't require prep is definitely helpful to kill the snack attacks. Let me see that big fuzzy baby. That
Hey,
Maine Coon,
this is Hazel. I got
Hazel's
him from the
so
valley.
handsome. He's
Yeah, we thought he
huge.
was a girl, but he was a boy. You fooled the vet, and yeah, I've had him for about 7 years, and
Oh,
he's a sweetie. And then I've got another one who's about 13 or 14, and yeah, he's in the other. But both of them came from the valley. They were strays that people found, and I was like, okay.
I'll take him.
I
Yeah, it's
know.
hard
And then
to
I've got
turn
my
around a
feral
big
cat
fuzzy
colony out
face.
there, which I'm sure you're aware of. Yeah, so it's just like, okay, yeah. So anyway, sorry, my God, I didn't mean to hijack this.
No.
So tell me about okay, so Tejas was this, amazing experience. Do you remember what year it was that you first did the trail running festival?
Yeah, that was September of 2020 is
Oh,
when it
oh yeah,
was.
just when everything was really fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, very fun. It was different. I actually loved, usually with running races, what you see on TV and what I know now, a couple years in, big mass starts, big groups of people, and you run out. Well, the Tejas trails, of course, they had to do the distancing. So you had timed race. It was such a nice ease for me because I wasn't as self-conscious again,
Right.
thinking the world revolved, not just worried everyone's watching you, which is so silly that we do this, but we do. I found comfort in the solidarity and being able to start on my own, to not feel like I had to run like these athletes have, that I
Or
could
step off the
do my own
trail.
things. Yeah, or step off the trail or
That's
do
my
whatever you
thing.
need to. Yeah. So I really enjoyed getting into that. And now with the mass starts that happen with the races, I'm not nervous and worried about it. I do have a tendency to always like to be at the back end. I like to see how it goes, and it's just my comfort. Why do we do that, Donna? Why do we like to be at the
Well, for me, it's ability and self-esteem. I think, it's like I'd be an idiot if I started at the front, because all I'm going to do is have all these people breathing heavy behind me, and I'm going to be jumping off the trail and stand. I mean, I can remember one year at Bandera, I started kind of in the middle, and have you ever done Bandera?
I did Cactus Rose in October. It was
Okay,
the
yeah. So
most
there's
fun
that
and the
that
most
beginning part
challenging.
where everybody turns into like a conga line,
Yeah.
and so and then you hear all these people behind you, and you're just like, oh crap, so I just sort of step off. Next thing I know, I'm the last person. I'm just like,
Yep.
okay, that was dumb. So,
Yep. I'm okay with being the last.
no,
My
I don't
my
mind that either, but it was
nope.
just sort of like, okay, it gets a little lonely at times. That was the only thing I didn't like about the pandemic type races. Because I tried to do the 25 miler at Cactus Rose probably in 2020. And
Yeah.
I started, my friends were trying to do the 100 and they started ahead of me. They had the 8 a.m. Friday window.
Mhm.
And so I picked that one too, but they started ahead of me. And so I did not see a soul. And
That is a long race to be by
it
yourself.
is. Yeah. And after about 11 miles, I just said, I saw these friends of mine who were running the aid station. I'm like, I'm dropping,
Yeah.
and Brad told one of the guys, he's like, do you want to ride back? I said, I probably don't deserve it, but I'll take it.
The ride of shame, right? We're the
Oh my
worst
God.
critics to ourselves, and we're so hard on ourselves.
I
And
know, but it was just like, man, my brain was just falling apart. I kept thinking about all the stuff I needed to do, which is exactly
mhm.
what you should not be thinking about during a race. But of course, when you don't have other people to distract you or you're not in the
Your
zone,
brain gets busy. It gets real busy. One thing I don't remember where I read it. I also one thing trail running also has helped me was being a little bit more vulnerable with myself, and because you have all that time to be so self-reflective when you're hours and hours and hours on a trail
right?
for either the race or the training.
Yeah.
And one thing, I don't remember what book or what I heard it in, but it was saying that one thing that really calms people's brains down with trail running or hiking is you have to focus so much on where your feet are,
Hmm.
that you can get hyper focused on what's in front of you and what you need to do, that your brain can't think about the stuff I need to do, or it can't think about the stresses at work or in your marriage or in relationships. It requires you to be focused, because you lose focus. That's how we all fall.
Oh
We can
yeah.
lose focus, or you start getting a little lazy and looking around, and boom, right in the
Or
ground
your
is how I
mind
usually
wanders.
go.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. So
So
it's
I found it very healing for me to be able to
Mhm.
quiet my brain and stop thinking about everything, that I only
Yeah.
need to worry about what's in front of me.
Mhm.
And that was very therapeutic for me. It really
Good.
was.
Do you listen to music or podcasts or anything like that when you're running or
I have to. I
yeah,
have to. I need a soundtrack to my life. I'm one that if I forget my earbuds, I'll go home and then go back to the trail.
I know.
I have to. I have to. And I do enjoy podcasts, reading books or listening to books.
Mhm.
But mostly music. I find I get very inspired by music and beats, and I don't pay attention to lyrics. I never have. I just like to think about how music makes me feel. So
Yeah.
I have quite an extensive playlist, and I used to, Donna, I didn't even think about this. I used to create playlists for each race that I was doing.
Oh, I do that still.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, all right, this race, because I know how much time I needed too.
Right. Right.
And what's happened though is my times, I do much longer distances now. I'm not an ultra yet, but
You
half
will.
marathons and marathons are my space. I love the half marathon space. I don't
Oh
have to
yeah.
train as
You
hard,
can
and I
do
can be a little bit of,
25Ks too. Yeah.
yeah, I'm good on those. But I found that it was getting a little repetitive for me to create playlists for each event. So now I just have a giant playlist and path through it. But yeah, I love music. How about yourself? Do you listen to music and podcasts or
I
books?
do. I do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, and my musical taste is kind of all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
some of it's, independent rock or, you haven't known me very long, but, I love this artist named Orville Peck.
Uh-huh.
He is a gay, uh, um, uh, ex-punk performer, but he now does his own version of country, which isn't like, dare near country. It's more, I don't know, he's just got his own brand. You got to check him out. But anyway, he
I
wears
am.
what sets him apart is he wears these fringed Lone Ranger masks with his hat.
What is
And
his name? Orville?
Orville Peck, yes, you've got
Yeah,
to check him out.
I will.
I have seen him live 6 times. I'm obsessed
Ah,
with him. And so
groupie.
he's just got this incredible voice, and it goes like 6 octaves, not 6 octaves, I'm sorry, 3 octaves. It's not that good.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's just, and I've met him, briefly once, and we've, communicated on Instagram of back in the, years, back in 2019, 2020, when nobody was doing anything. And
Yeah.
he's very sweet. And I actually traveled to Des Moines, not Des Moines, Davenport, Iowa, to go see him because during the pandemic stuff, the shows around here got canceled, and so this was the only, that was like, one of the places that he was playing. And I noticed that the club was only held 174 people, and I'm like, oh man, I'm going. I don't care. This is my YOLO trip,
Oh, yeah.
and so I did, and I was like right front, and yeah, oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I like him, and I love podcasts. I like Mark Maron is one of my favorites. He does the WTF podcast.
Uh-huh.
He's like my go-to. But yeah. Ooh, I'm
Bless you.
so sorry. Oh, it's this allergy.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it's allergy season. Oh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, but so I do that. And then sometimes I don't put in headphones, or I'll just make friends and chat with people and all that sort of thing. So you're gonna go to Pandora's this weekend, right?
I am. I have Pandora's Box of Rocks on Saturday,
And which
and
distance?
I'm going to do the half. I
Okay,
haven't
I've done
been able
that.
to, work has been a little too crazy, where I haven't been able to train like I want to. So I've turned a bit into a weekend warrior. But I'm fine. I don't set personal goals. Like I need to finish a certain time. I just want to finish and have a really
Mhm.
good time. And
Good,
I've also learned to really step outside of my comfort zone and make friends on the trail.
good.
Because I always felt like such an imposter. It's like, oh, they're gonna know I'm new at this. And I thought, you know
Nobody
what, damn it,
cares.
if I've done 12 Tejas Trails events, and many of them halves, and I also ruck. So I've done it with the 30 pounds on my back and
Nice.
stuff like that.
I've
Like
never tried that.
I can hang with these people. I'm
Oh
cool. I need to
yeah.
get over myself. I've met some wonderful people and made some great friends of just being a little vulnerable and sticking it out there and saying hello to people. And
Yes.
I have enjoyed that component of it. I've never, up until about the I would say up until this last year or so is when I started really trying to connect and immerse myself into the community,
Mhm.
which of course has welcomed me with open arms. And they're such an awesome community. And what I love about trail runners, everybody has a story as to why they do it.
Oh yeah.
Everyone does. You have to be a little nutty to like to do this and to take a serious injury. You can really get hurt in any race or anything. And I love that go get it spirit and the willing to take a risk because the reward is so
Or
much
somebody will help
bigger.
you if you fall. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know. So I go out to Lake Georgetown all the time. That's
Oh
my
yeah.
treadmill.
Do you know
And
Nancy Marks?
I was about to talk about long distance nasty.
I
So
love Nancy. Yeah, she's one of
she's
my friends.
fantastic. I actually ran into her on the trail out there, probably about maybe last summer or
Yeah,
this
she's out
fall.
there all the
And
time. Yeah.
she's up there all the time. And we were talking, and she was talking about a race that she had done, I think the weekend before. and how there was a gentleman that was really struggling. He just couldn't make the last 5 or 6 miles. She went, of course, Nancy ran because she was volunteering, ran
Oh,
back to him to help him out, and then ran with him to help him finish the
oh,
thing.
that's so fun. I love that.
That's the kind of stuff that happens. Or people will, if you get hurt, I've seen this too. Luckily, I've not, find some wood. I've not been hurt where I've needed help out, but I've seen people that will give up their own race to go help someone.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's very similar to the rock crawling and wheeling community with
Hmm.
Jeeps. We're very involved in our Jeep club, and it's all about, and it's a very small group, like 50 active people, and it's all about helping each other out. No one gets left behind. You help what you help
Not
others.
everyone is part of that though. I mean, not everyone
No.
identifies with that, but yeah, no,
Mm-mm.
I feel it. Yeah.
I
It's a
love
hard
it. I
ride.
love the trail running community. I love the different walks of life. Rarely does somebody ask you, what do you do for a living? They don't care.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
about
it
what you
doesn't.
do
Yeah.
for
They're,
fun and
you'll
why are
talk
you
about
out here?
races. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I love the community a lot.
I do too. I do too. And I mean, because I've always felt like sort of a dork because I was never very athletic or anything like
Yeah.
that. And then, you know, so yeah, once I got into the trail running thing, it's like, oh my God, I'm making friends. These are my people. This is, I finally found my people after all these years.
They are. They're a little irreverent.
Oh
And what I
yeah.
love about trail runners is when you're on the trail, especially at a race, there's no small talk BS. You dive right into it because you're 10, 15 miles in, you're exhausted, and you're having these crazy thoughts, or you're in the pain cave,
Yep.
and you just dive right into real stuff, like where do you go poop when you have to run, or like where do you, oh, okay, will you watch me, I gotta go pee real quick, or you just
Exactly.
dive into relationships that are deeper, or you talk about, I ran into a gal once and she had lost her brother recently, and so she told me all about her brother, and so you just go to deeper conversations right away. I find
Yeah.
that very fulfilling and rewarding. I
Oh
do.
no, I agree. Yeah, no, you and I are very much alike in that way. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, I mean, yeah, I mean, and again, not everyone can identify with this community, you know, and or would feel at home in it, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
so, um, that's interesting. So, so what is, sorry, do you have an ultra? I know, listen to me, I'm pushing you.
I
Do you,
know, not yet, not
yeah.
yet. I've got Pandora, and then I'm doing Spider Mountain.
Oh, you
So,
are? Okay. I
oh
may get
yeah, I
signed
love
volunteer
it.
for that. Yeah.
I love it. I did it about 2 years ago
Never
and
done it.
fell
Yeah.
about 3 miles in. I still finished, but I really want to make that course my bitch. I really
Yeah,
want to
no, I
kill
want
it.
to go see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun, the energy, and I would like to do the Captain Carl series this
You need
summer.
to. You must. Even do the 10K or whatever, you
Yeah,
know.
I really would, and I would like to set some big goals. I trail running's also taught me it's important to set goals, to know
Yes.
what's in front of you. Just get it scheduled, and then you'll make it happen. I believe the same about that same philosophy with friendships. Like if we say, "Oh, we got to get together," now let's get together. Let's set a date and make it happen. Or it
Right.
never will. It never will. Life gets in the way.
Hmm.
Um, my sister-in-law and I have grown incredibly close over the past couple of years, and she's my adventure buddy. And we
Mm.
like to have a big adventure on the books about every 6 months. Like, what are
Oh,
we
cool.
working to? It keeps your physical fitness up and something to look forward to, and it's exciting. So I would like to get an ultra on the calendar, but I got to be able to train for that.
Yeah.
And I need to get a little further into the summer before my schedule lightens up a bit so I
Yeah.
can. But I am going to do the Captain Carl, even if it is just the
10K.
10Ks or
No, that's
20K.
what I'm gonna do too. I mean, because what
Good.
I usually do is just volunteer and then you know, run the 10K, you know, because you know, that's the kind of dork I am. Well, the other thing too is that volunteer hours, if you volunteer for that race, then you don't have to pay for it.
You got that right.
I know.
I love their policy around encouraging folks
Yeah.
to
And I love
volunteer even in race
volunteering.
groups.
It's so much fun. I mean, because yeah, like well, I'm gonna go up Friday afternoon and help out with packet pickup and then just sleep in my car
Yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
night and then Saturday help with whatever. And yeah, I just told him, I'm like, put me in, you know, coach, I'll do whatever you want. Just let me run the 4 miler. Um,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm kind of well, if you've listened to this podcast,
I
you
did. I heard
know,
you were recovering from an
yeah,
injury.
I'm still injured. Yeah,
So,
I mean, Although I have to say, I did my stuff last night, and it feels a lot better. So
Okay.
I have my Erosti appointment on Friday, and so I'm going to give running another try tomorrow. Just a few miles. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of frustrating, but I've got a
I
10K.
I could imagine because your brain and your body have that muscle memory that wants you to go, but you can't. And that
Right.
can be a
I mean,
frustrating place.
yeah, and I've been doing other stuff because I mean, I've definitely picked up more weight training, and I've been doing these
Uh-huh.
rowing classes and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not like I'm sitting around, eating bonbons or something, but and I do my indoor bike, and things like that. So I mean,
Nice.
I'm trying to stay up on it, but it's just, yeah, it's yeah, like yesterday was just really incredibly frustrating. I've never had, this hip flexor kind of thing. I've had plantar before, which
Yeah.
really sucks. But yeah, this one's a little different. And I mean, I almost had myself convinced last night that I had ovarian cancer.
What the hell? Stay off of MD or MD WebMD.
Well, I
Don't
was
do
just
that.
like, because I kept
Don't
thinking, okay, I've got
self-diagnose.
these weird hip pains are in the pelvis, and then my lower back hurts, and I'm like, but I don't think so. I mean, yeah.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. You have
I
to
mean,
make
I'm
your
not even much of a
own.
hypochondriac, but it's just I get so frustrated, but
Well, because it's preventing you from doing what you really love. And
yeah,
you
well,
really
and
like,
that's why,
yeah.
yeah, even the volunteering though with Tejas and stuff does really help. And I've unfortunately, kind of like you, it's like my job has just been really insane, like
Yeah.
the last 4 or 5 months, and so I have not been able to go out. I mean, the last time I volunteered was at Bandera, and I haven't been able to do anything since. And so I am so stoked to go out there on Friday.
Yes.
I
It's the
texted PJ and Chris.
volunteering. Oh, the volunteering is such a great way to meet other
Give back.
people
Yeah.
and give back. And I mean, selfishly, I get so much out of it
Well, you
to,
learn.
yes, and to be there when people are either they're at the crazy running high, they're so excited they don't want to stop, or those that are like, I just need to sit down and
Or
you
the
can
projectile
motivate them.
vomiting and yeah.
Yeah, oh, there's that too. But just to be a part of that, and one thing I share with people too to encourage them to volunteer is that you are getting to be a part of somebody's first something.
Yes.
Somebody there, they've just lost a bunch of weight. It's their first race in general, or it's the first time they've hiked, or I'm going for a personal goal. You get to share in such a celebratory moment in their life, and it's a personal moment.
Yes.
I'm incredibly grateful for that. And I love to take that, and it motivates me. And it
Yeah.
reminds me of what I'm doing. But the volunteering is an absolute great way to go and
It really
meet
is.
people. That's where I met PJ. He's the best. I love him to
You
death.
you know the story behind me and PJ, right?
No, spill it, girl.
Oh my God. PJ, okay. The only reason PJ is where he is now is because of me. Because we both used
So,
to live,
okay, go
yeah, we
ahead.
both lived in the valley, and it's a very small place down there, very small running community. And we have a running group on Facebook, and I don't know, for some reason, I guess it was the first time they did the J&J race, and this was probably,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago. I can't even remember now. But anyway, and so I wrote to Chris, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to run an aid station, and he's like, sure, and all I'd done is like, handing out water at 5Ks and stuff. So, but anyway, long story short, so PJ and this other guy, Austin, who lived in the valley, these two young guys, they come to my house, and I drive them up, to Camp Eagle. And then Jonathan, have you met Jonathan?
I don't think I
Super
have. I
tall,
don't
yeah,
think
another
I have.
super tall white guy. He's like in charge of a lot of the volunteers. But anyway,
Oh, I have then. I'm not real good with names. I have to
yeah,
see
John, I
faces. I'm
can't think of
sorry.
his
I'm
last
sure
name
I
now.
have.
Yeah, I'm sure you have too. Really super nice. But anyway, well, I mean, they're all super nice. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I follow him up. I'm driving a Honda Fit. Okay. And I don't know if you've ever been out to Camp Eagle, but it's
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
It's like
It's
driving,
awesome. It
yeah.
is
So
so
I'm
much
like,
fun.
so I'm following him up to this aid station, that we're supposed to be.
The
And
big top one at the windmill. Is that
not
the
that we
one?
weren't quite up there, but we were definitely way up there, and it was insanity. And then, so basically, he just like, we offload all this stuff, and then he's like, okay, good luck, see you guys later. And he drives off. And I felt like, I mean, I don't have kids, but it felt like, a parent must feel like the first time they're left alone with their child, you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what do I do? But PJ and Austin were amazing, and they immediately, understood what to do, how to set up the generators, thank God.
Mhm.
And yeah, and from there, PJ got the bug because he had never done any kind of trail
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, so he's sort of my little success story. I'm always,
Oh,
yeah,
he's just my
he's
favorite. And
he's just like one of my dearest friends. I just
he
adore
is,
him.
and he welcomed me with such open arms.
Yeah,
And I'll
that's
tell you
just
one,
him.
it is. And one thing that he does, and he probably doesn't even realize that he does it, but how much it means is, you're finished. Like when I finished the Cactus Rose, that was a long distance for me. It took me over
25.
8 hours to finish. Yeah, in Bandera. Took me 8 hours to finish. I
That's not
was, it was
bad.
a long day for me. I only did the 25 miler though. So
Don't
25
say
miles in eight
only.
hours.
I've done it
But
before and it took 11, so don't feel bad.
oh, well, I hear when I'm coming to the finish line and I'm already crying, I'm like, oh my God, I did it. And I hear PJ say, oh my God, it's Cyrus. And then everyone starts saying my name and
Oh,
cheering. And it just meant so much, that little personal touch that he says my name when I cross. I feel like I'm coming back to a family. And then it's such great group of people, and they have really welcomed me so kindly. And PJ is just one of my favorite people. Anything
yeah.
we can do to help him be successful, I would want to do that. I am in the, we are in, girl, we are PJ
Oh
groupies as
yeah, no,
well.
for sure. Yeah, I
We
was so
should get
I was so
t-shirts.
tickled, like, about, I guess it was about a year and a half ago, when he told me that he might be able to buy into
Yep.
Brad's, end of things,
Mhm.
because Brad was, going to be in Wisconsin.
Somewhere up north. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and Brad's a dear friend. I feel like an idiot now. But yeah, I mean, and I knew, PJ when he was in college, because I used to teach at the university that he went to. I mean, he wasn't a student or anything, but
Gotcha.
yeah, he used to leave notes on my car and stuff.
He's
It was
just
so
the
cute.
nicest guy. And
He
that's just
just
part of the whole community there. They just
Yeah,
really welcome you.
no, it is. And I can tell you that, I was talking to the guy I talked to last night about this, because he's in Memphis, but
Okay.
I ran a timed race up in Ohio, where I'm from, like literally out in the country where I'm from, last April. And it was so weird because I think it was a lot of road runners, because even though it was like on this horse ranch or whatever, and it was very
Mhm.
muddy, and um, it was just like the community, nobody really seemed to want to talk to you or connect with
Yeah.
you. And I was just kind of like, oh, this isn't fun. I don't really like these people very much.
They're
It's-
different than trail runners. They really
yeah.
are.
And
I,
even
I
if
like
I've
those that
done,
like to get dirty. Says
yeah, no,
something about
but I
them.
think the Tejas specifically, I mean, and I've done, a couple of the other race directors, races and whatnot, in the hill country area,
Yep.
and they're all great. But I just, and again, they're not paying me for this, but
Yeah.
I just feel like, yeah, the Tejas folks are just, there's just something exceptional about them. And I can't quite put my finger on it, other than to say that they're very egalitarian. They're very
Uh-huh.
welcoming. And and if you stray for a while, if you haven't been there for a while, when you come back, they're like, nothing has ever happened.
I
So
know.
I just think that's, yeah, they're really super cool.
They are. They are. And I love, I've gotten to become dear friends with Dave Smythe or
Oh, I
Smithy,
love
excuse me,
him.
from to Cop Out. I'm
And his
going with,
dog.
yeah, oh, Penny, she's just the
I love
best.
Penny.
Her.
Yeah.
And I'm actually my sister-in-law and I are actually doing an adventure with him in Colorado. We're going to their
Fun. Well, that'll make
Leadville.
him happy. Yeah. I know
It
he's always
it
trying to
is.
find
And
those.
then yeah, he's just met some really great people there. And they just have really welcomed me. And I think if my experience into physical fitness had not been with Tejas Trails and with specific people who really embraced me and embraced my
Welcome.
weirdness,
Hmm.
yeah, I would have probably bounced. I would have been like, nah, it's not for me. I'm gonna go back to my old life. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
I really have thrived in that environment. And you just learn so much from, I tease that I'm a little bit like, I sound like a cult leader because I want everybody to drink this Kool-Aid. That's not a good analogy, I know, but
No, I know what you mean though.
I know it's like, I never know what's right or wrong to say anymore,
No, I don't
Donna.
mind.
But it's like, I want other people to experience this incredible joy and growth that I have. And folks are tired of me talking about it, but you learn so much about yourself and your confidence. So many women are afraid to even go walk on a trail in their neighborhood because they've concocted these ridiculous ideas as somebody's hiding in the bushes with a
I
knife.
know.
Well,
I
it could
know.
happen, or could
Of
anything
course.
happen, right? It
It
could happen
happened
at the
right in front of
grocery
your
store.
house.
But it's like, come on, let's do it. And building that confidence on the trail translates into everything you do. It translates into your relationships professionally. God, think about the things that stress you out at work. It puts into perspective after you've been on some trails or doing backpacking or hiking or whatnot. You know what? This is nothing. If I
Mhm.
can, for 8 hours straight or 11 hours straight, as you're sharing, is if I can keep pushing, pull myself up out of that pain cave, pull myself out of that hole that my brain wants to take me to, this stuff is easy.
Oh
There is
yeah.
nothing to be worried about. And I want more people to experience it.
Yeah.
And I do drag my friends to things. In fact, once a month I hold a networking opportunity for executive women in the Austin area. Like, all right, let's go for a walk in the woods. We're going to do 10 miles. And we go super slow. And it's just walking and just, we celebrate successes, we share struggles, we solve problems. You
That's
walk
awesome.
away like the best therapy session ever. And you just
Yeah.
feel great. And I just love when other people say, oh, I didn't realize just being outside for an extended period of time on a trail can just change things for you. And it
Mhm.
does. It
Yeah,
does.
it
It
does.
teaches you how to lose also. I have not been a good loser my whole life. I don't like to lose. I've always put these unrealistic at time expectations on myself of how, I can't lose. I have to be the best. I have to have the biggest. I have to. And if I would lose, it would be devastating. Now
Mm.
it's like, yeah, I didn't hit that goal. It's okay. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
And
No.
that was a big lesson for me.
Super cool. Super cool. Well, Cyrus, coming up on almost an hour
Yeah,
here.
for
So
sure.
I know you've probably got things to do. Anything else you wanted to throw in?
I'm looking forward to meeting you in person
I
this
am
weekend.
too. Yay. So are you going to be
Definitely.
there Saturday then for packet pickup or Friday?
I might come up Friday night, depending on how ambitious I am. I might camp tent or just sleep in my car.
Yeah.
I'll see what it is, but I'm not too far away
Yeah.
from you.
You're a lot closer than yeah, because it's a
Yeah,
good
and then
2 hour
you are.
drive for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so I probably will head out in the morning, but I will come find you.
oh
And
yeah.
after I'm done, I like to
Well,
wander around.
I'll text you and let you know where I'm at.
Yes,
So that
yeah,
way,
let me know what aid station you're at. I'm looking
yeah,
forward
I
to it.
may be at the start finish because sometimes that's where they throw me there just because.
They
Uh,
like the good ones with the lots of energy who will talk to the runners and stuff.
oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and I'll do pretty much anything they ask me to. So it's
You
like, yeah, I
know,
don't mind, But the other nice thing about this place, just FYI, if you've never run at this particular venue before, is there's showers there. So bring a towel.
ooh, I will. That is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I
Usually
know. I mean, they're not luxurious or anything, but it's better than
anything is better than dipping in the water and then just dealing with it till you get home.
Oh, no, I know.
Which
Well,
is
it's
not
like
fun.
my first Tejas race was Colorado, Colorado Bend State Park. It was one of those
Ooh.
night races, and I went up with a handful of friends from the valley, and there's not really a shower up there. The only thing they've got is that fish cleaning table, and so
Yep.
we're out there in the dark, and it's just like I'm in a swimsuit. I'm just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, those are bonding experiences that you guys will remember
Oh
forever. And
God,
that's why it's so
absolutely. I will
awesome.
never forget those. So,
Mhm.
all right, my dear. Well, listen, hang loose for just one quick second, and
Yeah, for
I will
sure.
hang on.